And welcome to the channel. This is Steel City Knives. Right, I've got another video for you, and it's one of my favourite videos where we're looking at somebody's collection out in their community. We're still on Ian Rankins. Now, I'm still in touch with all the people that come previously. Drew's been sending me some phenomenal knives. Roland's been sending me some phenomenal knives, so definitely we need to revisit their collection, and hopefully we'll do that along the line. We've got somebody waiting very patiently in the wings to show their collection off, and I appreciate that. But I just wanted to, because of how Ian's set his collection out, and it's such a phenomenal collection, like they all are, I feel like I don't want to rush them anymore. I should have spent more time with Roland. I should have spent more time on Drew's, and I'm sure you guys don't mind. It's nice to just, it's just us looking at knives. What's more to like? But before we get into his collection, he did send me this one. I just want to show it real quickly. So Ian is from Scotland. This is a traditional Scottish knife, and what a phenomenal knife. This is a skin do, and you know me, if you know this channel, I always don't attempt to pronounce it. The spelling of it is nothing like the pronunciation as far as I'm concerned, my English tongue. But look at it, it's stunning. So, and it sounds like a cake recipe when I read it out. So this is Bur Elm with sweet chestnut centre. It sounds good enough to eat, doesn't it? And it looks absolutely amazing. So, obviously, I asked him a million questions when he sent me this. So it's made in Inverness by a person. It's got his own page on Etsy. It's called Ullapool Box Creations. I'll put hopefully the page on there. So, and I can't believe it, that cost him £41. So absolutely brilliant value for money there. And what I was looking at getting one myself. There's a lot of people out on Etsy making these knives, and like I say, it's a very traditional Scottish knife. I have done a bit of research, but I won't go into it just now, because let's have a look at the rest of his collection. But a phenomenal, beautiful knife that is. A very good one for the collection there, Ian. Right, onto his collection. We're going to be having a look at his Barlow drawer. So you can't go wrong with a Barlow, can you? Definitely not. And if you don't like a Barlow, tell me in the comment section, because I always like hearing a difference of opinion. But I think the general consensus, everybody loves a Barlow. So let's get started. So what we'll do, as you can see from the probably the photo, Ian has put them horizontal, his favourites, and then what we'll do, we'll start from the top and work our way down. So we'll rattle through all these Chinese ones at the top here. So we've got we've got the Rough Rider Reserve. This one was like a classic, weren't it? It just sold like crazy. I had the chance to pick one up second hand recently on Congies, and I didn't go for it. I don't know what it is, because I am one of these people where I will pick something up if it has been a big seller or was a big part of the knife world. I like to have a representation of it, but I just didn't. I've not got any Rough Rider Reserves. I don't know why, but this one was phenomenal. I think it's the blade shape. It's a fat spear, so it's not really doing it for me. But it did sell really crazy, and it is like a classic, isn't it, really? A lot of people are in agreement of how good that knife is. Right, and then let's have a look. So we've got the Rough Rider Horseshoe Shield here on the bolster of these two. I love that. I do love that. I've got the white bone one. The white bone's sort of aging quite nicely. I've had it a few years now. So he's got the white bone, and then he's got this one in the jigged sort of bone here. This was one of their earlier releases of series, but they seem to still make this one, and it's really affordable. I had 3, and I gave it. It was one of my first giveaways, and the fit and finish on all 3 of them was spot on. It was just a really well put together, a simple sort of series, but sold really well, and obviously still is selling really well and really affordable. And I love that Horseshoe Shield stamp. Right, and then he's got the Rough Rider Ram's Horn. This is one I traded with Congi. I'm not 100% certain if that is Ram's Horn, but that's just me. But the one I had, it looked very plasticky where it was hafted towards the bolster, but it's a nice knife nonetheless. And then he's got the Mikado with the R on the bolster. And again, this is something that Rough Rider is really good at. They listened to us, they got rid of the R on the bolster. Now, I've not got any because I didn't want it, but I feel like I need one now just to sort of show that period of time that the Rough Rider had one. So it's cool that you've got one in the collection there. And he's got the Mikado. And that black Mikado looks really good. Right, and then we've got one that's Schrade, a Chinese Schrade one here with on the bolster there. there. The really cheap as chips, even over here, really cheap as chips. And a well put together knife, I've heard. I've not got one personally, but and then there's got two Queens. He's got the one that's got the saw cut that did. So this was like their first release when Smoking Knife Works bought the rights to Queen, and they had to produce them. They produced them in China. This had to be a good series because this was the first thing they put out. That's the way I look at it. It had to be a success, and they did. They knocked it out of the park with that saw cut bone, and it was very, very popular. I've got a few myself, and it's stunning. It's really nice cover material. They did a really good job with that. And then he's got this this is a Queen sort of pattern. Here's one of the original ones. And so I did a video myself showing the different shapes of Barlows that different makers put out. Because there is a bit of a broad spectrum of shapes, really. You get sort of a big sort of workhorse one with a swell end. You can get some real thin sort of gentleman carries. So people do have different interpretations of Barlows, I suppose, and they're not standard sort of size or shape. And this is Queen's iteration of it, and is very solely a Queen pattern. Queen first did this, and they do this really brilliant one where they didn't have, you couldn't see the back spring. It was like I'll show you a picture of it now. But I've always wanted one of them in the collection. I've got one of these Chinese ones because I thought I'd never probably pick one up, but I will have one. I will have a genuine, proper Queen-made one. And then he's got the Remington exhibition grade. I think they brought this out last year. Did really well. It's bone covers, is it not? And it's to sort of in a gun stock sort of checkering on there. So, and then he's got an RR, the Rough Rider Bone Stag. Now, again, Rough Rider listen to people. Very simple, classic sort of look here. It's got carbon steel blade. The thing that put me off when they first produced this, the dye would come off, and then once that black dye comes off, it did look a bit rubbish, to be fair, which always put me off. But I think they've put that right now. So that's all of the Chinese ones up top. We're going to sort of drill down and have a look at the others now. Right, so there's one more Chinese knife down here, and that's the Boca Plus Barlow. I love this thing. I really do love it, and you can't get them over here. You know, I don't know where you got that, unless they used to sell them a while back. But I've seen this on Pocket Knives and Harmonics. My mate Brenny had one. I just fell in love with it. I think it's just really, it looks really cool, and it's affordable, isn't it? But yeah, it just really looks a nice knife, and I definitely want one in the collection. So I can understand that why that's one of your favourites. Right, and then there's a few that these really I want to spend a bit more time talking over. So this is a Colonel Coon one, and absolutely. So what's going on with them at the moment, guys? Can somebody tell me in the comment section? Are they still selling them? So essentially, what this is, the company's not been around for very long. It was started in 1976 by a guy called Adrian Harris. He was a phenomenal guy. I think he started off doing fixed blades, and then he was the only person that was allowed to go out for some of the three massive companies. I think one was Robert Class, Henkel's, and what was the other? There was another one. It might have been... No, I don't think it was Case. But yeah, so he went out and he repaired them on their behalf. And I think he was about the only licensed person to do that. So very well respected. He did a couple of sort of inventions. I think there was some sort of etching process that he created that he sold to Case. And he did a folding package where it had a hinge on cardboard that were sold and we still use today. So a phenomenal guy. And he was a USA-made knife producer. Colonel Coon was the thing, but his actual company was Tennessee something or other. But yeah, so that was the brand. Then when he retired and he sold some of his inventions to Case, Smoky Mountain Knife Works bought it in 2006, and they were still producing really cheap. They were in, I think, they were like 30 odd pounds or something like that. The ones that they're selling at the moment, USA made pocket knives, all done very simply, just like your standard patterns. There was always a Barlow, was there not? A toothpick, a Stockman, a Trapper, you know. And they did it in walnut, Delrin, and then the more premium ones were in stag. But yeah, I don't know what's happened to them. Can you still get them? I know at one period they were being made by Queen, but I know there's a big... you can find a lot of the old ones on eBay. They go for a great deal of money. But yeah, that's a brilliant one to have in your collection. I know Moonraker used to sell them over here, didn't they? And I know probably Heine Haynes did at one point. And I just never picked them up, and I don't know why, because they were quite reasonable over here as well. I have got a few Bear & Son, and they're nice. They're well put together, and American made again, and affordable. But yeah, they're very reminiscent of Bear & Son. But I would say the Colonel Coon probably has the edge on it. I like the design a bit more better. I mean, this has got like Barlow on the bolster. I quite like that, and the wording of it and things like that. What's the word I'm looking for? But you know what I mean. They look good. They really do look good. But yeah, let me know if they're still being made and you can still get them over in America. Be interesting to know. Right, so he's got a Level Collective SFO here. So this is one that I've shown on the channel. I stumbled across it. It was from a company that I wouldn't really buy from, even though the website's brilliant and you know they sell UK made stuff on there. They're really ethical, all the rest of it. Outdoorsy sort of website for camping and things like that. Quite a cool website, but yeah, not one that I have an account with or do anything. I don't know how I stumbled across it, but they did an SFO, and there is some more out there from Sheffield makers doing SFOs for these small sort of independent websites that I've found since. But yeah, this, I just really like the design of it. I like that etching on the bolster. Let me know how yours came, Ian. I should have asked you this a while ago because I wasn't very complimentary of it. Later, the main thing was the blade grind. It wasn't ground on one edge, so it was like a chisel grind. It wasn't sharp. It's just daft stuff like that. I don't know. It's little things. It's just, and maybe that is a bit overcritical. I don't know, but I wasn't. It just lacked like they didn't care. But when you've got an SFO, it can be grey waters because you don't know how much that person has paid the knife maker for, and things like that. It's a bit of a, I don't know. But ever since I've put an edge on it now, I've addressed a few of the other things, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and it gets so many compliments whenever I carry that and I use it. Whenever I get it out, people absolutely love it, and they want to, see it and ask a load of questions. And it's a really nice knife, and I absolutely love that Barlow pattern, that shape. That is my kind of shape. It's gorgeous. I always, the Boke have a very similar one. They clearly took it from Sheffield. It's very related to the Stannington sort of shape. But yeah, it's just gorgeous, and I love that. I'd probably say more so than the swelled out larger Barlows with the swell ends. I love this. I don't know what it is. It's just really streamlined. It's just a really nice, well put together Barlow. Love it. But yeah, I love that shape. Right, on to the next one. Right, I don't want to talk too much about history in this. I just want to sort of showcase Ian's collection because you can get bogged down with that. It can make the video quite long. So this is a CJ & Co. So it stands for Christopher Johnson. A very sort of historic. What I'll do, I'll put a bit of information on the screen so you can read it and pause if you want to. And again, check this. Ken. They named it after Ken Hawley, but there's so much information on there. If you want to research any Sheffield maker, go check out this website because it's absolutely. I'll put the link to it in the description to this video. But a phenomenal website and a brilliant source of history and research and all the rest of it, especially if you've got a Sheffield maker that you're not 100% certain about them and things like that. You can quickly jump on there and just brush up on them, and there's so many. There is so many, and if you have a look at the index of it, and you can have a look at the alphabetical order, it shows you the sheer vast amount of makers that he's got on there. It's phenomenal. So a brilliant piece of work there. But yeah, so he's got a Christopher Johnson, really, really good company. It's got that flag. I'm sure it's a Christopher Johnson. There was a few makers that had that flag logo. But yeah, I think that's a Christopher Johnson if I'm right there, Ian. But yeah, nice, mate. I can't remember if you told me that the blade was a bit... I'll try and find some other pictures that he sent me. But yeah, it looks brilliant, mate. And if you can find like an old Sheffield Barlow, get them in your collection, definitely. And then, right, we'll stop for a minute. Sometimes people talk about Grail knives, and they have one. I have a Grail list. and I'm really hoping I can get a Stannington Barlow this year. And I've not really addressed this or even mentioned this to many people, but Stephen Koko actually put some comments in one of my videos, and it made my day. It really did make my day. I was trying to be cool about it in my reply to him, but I was buzzing, mate. I've got a lot of respect for Stephen Koko. I always class myself as sort of a new collector or all the rest of it. And I'm learning as I'm going, but I'm starting to sort of get a bit of a gauge of all the different cutlers in Sheffield. And Stephen's one of these people that is really devoted. He looks at old catalogues and things like that and tries to replicate it. And I've got a knife hopefully coming soon that will sort of prove that to a certain degree. And he does. I went to the Kelham Island Museum, and he does a lot of sort of talks there and all sorts of stuff. And I mentioned to Drew White, I'm going to the Kelham Island Museum. He says, "Oh, it's Stephen's old stomping ground. He lives in there pretty much." So, and like I say, he's got a workshop at his house that he goes and does all his sort of like his custom stuff. But he's the stuff in with the Stannington Barlow. So he's recreated the Stannington Barlow and stuff like that. Just don't let it. He doesn't let it die. Just, we should all salute him. Really, he's just a phenomenal knife maker and person, and just he's really doing his all proud and keeping it alive. And just a great guy. I could spend a whole video talking about the Stannington Barlow, but Drew White has really educated me on Stannington in general. Drew White is born and bred in Stannington, and it's a very, very important place. It's sort of on the outskirts of Sheffield, but yeah, it's a phenomenal, and there's a lot of detail in the book. This book here that Drew mentioned to me, and I've got it now. But like I say, hopefully I will pick one of these up this year. I think Stephen Koko is going to make some this year, so hopefully I'll get one, and we'll do a special all on that. Like I say, I don't want it to be a massive video, and I forgot one drawing. That's how many he's got. There's one I forgot. So essentially, we're going to have a look at the Arthur Wright draw now, and then he's got one that's got a lot of different Sheffield makers in. This will be so we'll do Arthur Wright today, and then the last one will cover. He's got a draw just with different Sheffield makers in. He's got an IXL draw, and he's got a Boca box. So that'll be the last video. I've got to try and cram that all into one video. I think it might be more even yet, but like I say, I'm enjoying this series so much. But it's like Roland's been sending me stuff. There's a lot of knives that I want to definitely do some more videos on this series. So many to get through. But right, let's do the Arthur Wright. Look at these guys. Look at these. How did I forget about this draw? This must have been earlier on when you sent this one, but I mean, I'm a big Arthur Wright fan, and this is insane. I love the way he set them out. Imagine if you, like say, you're a fellow knife lover, you rub shoulders with him. It's like, yeah, do you want to come see my collection? He takes you to that cabinet, and you see the labels, and he pulls them out. You'd lose your mind, wouldn't you? You'd be like, this is insane. I love it. I think it's brilliant. Honestly, it's a brilliant way to do it. And I thank you very much, Ian, for letting us have a look at your collection. I've had a look at a few of the past videos. It's getting a bit long now. So what we'll do, we'll just sort of grab a few to look at. So the thing that struck me when I looked at all of these was the horn that they use. So the horn, and that's the thing with natural materials. You could have the exact same knife, but it could be slightly different because of that natural material. But the horn on these looks absolutely phenomenal. Look how good that looks. I'm going to say one negative thing about Arthur Wright. They did do jig bone at one point. They did it in a couple of colours. I think it was a red, and was it a blue or something? I remember when they came out, they were quite cheap. They were only about 30 odd pounds, I think. And I wasn't that impressed. Didn't pick them up then, and they've come up on the second-hand market for a lot more than that. Somebody was selling them for like 50, 60 quid. And no, I think they need some more work on their jigging and the dyeing and all sorts. I don't know, each their own. Just that's my personal opinion. I wasn't a big fan of their jigging and their bone work. But don't give up Arthur Wright. because we love jig bone, and you know, have another bash it, have another, you know, because they're. I'm lucky enough to have known Arthur Wright before and what they are now. And like I say, a lot of people are like, oh, they've turned a corner. They're past that corner now. They are doing really some phenomenal knives. They're really exciting. Like I say, Ashley Harrison is doing custom work. They've got Beth now and stuff like that. They're just a force to be reckoned with, really, in the cutlers world. I always felt like Arthur Wright, because they've not got a lot of history like a lot of the other bigger companies, maybe seen as a bit of an underdog or maybe looked down on or whatever, but definitely not now. Definitely not now. And they really are doing some phenomenal work. And I went in, they're very central. So where we stayed for the night in Sheffield, we was literally around the corner from their workshop, and there's a lot of like building work being done now to like, and it was all modern and nice. And then this brilliant building just stood there that's like a workshop, bit old school, but as you can see from here, we've got some absolutely stunners. One I really liked as well was the shape of this one in the stag, how it just comes in slightly. And yeah, it's got some with firework on, and look at the woods that they use, the different woods they use and things like that. And like I say, the good thing about Arthur Wright are they are really affordable. Even now, they're still really affordable for what you're getting. So I just love them. I really do love the company, and I love their work. I think they're brilliant. But yeah, thank you very much, Ian. Thank you very much, Ian. Really appreciate it, mate. And I'm sure everybody has loved your collection, mate. Absolutely. So we really do appreciate it. And what an amazing way to store them. It's brilliant. Right, I'll see you all on the next one. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers. Thank you very much. Bye.